Hey guys, we're back. This is our part 2. So we're just going to pick up from our conversation. Sokka was sharing with us her experience during her hypno advance, which is super exciting.
Yes. Wow, that course was incredibly intense. A few things did bubble up in there that was, I thought I'd actually worked through them. So in what Michelle was talking about before, the rage and the anger, well, that certainly showed up in, I think, in one of the sessions I had, doing swaps with another coach. And that was when I realised, oh gosh, there's layers to that anger and rage. That went deep. Wow. The dip was, when I talk about the dip, part of the hypno is where we kind of, suss out the surface level, and then you go into your subconscious, and then you go down, and
hiding,
and it's underneath all those bullshit stories that we tell on the outside and the conscious level, and the subconscious knows where to go, and he went there, and that's where the darkness was seen.
Do you think we have a lot of fear about going there? Like we don't want to go there. So I think the hypno is amazing to get you in the state, because I think consciously it's so hard to access that, isn't it? Yeah.
And it was definitely the part where I didn't realise, I thought I'd worked through that part. And look, this is going to be a massive trigger warning for people. And it was actually suicidal thoughts.
Wow.
I had those thoughts in my early 20s because I wasn't coping when you start to understand some of the things that were happening to you. But this is also the thing I found, that these stories, you thought you've worked through them, you've done the work, no, but it was still there. Yeah. It's not to say that they, it's not something you go and act on. It's not an action. It's just the feeling, this darkness, this depression that leads down to the path of, it's a feeling, and the feeling of darkness was just darkness itself. Yeah. But Michelle helped me through it by unpacking some of that through just chatting with her, and I actually was just open and honest with her. We had a meeting. Yeah. It was just a meeting.
Yeah, I think we're so in tune though. We know when each other are a little off. Yeah.
Something was, a bit funky in the waters. And this is why it's so important to have real people that you can trust and that can hold that space for you, that can be there, that you can, without judgment. Yeah. And thank you.
Healing for me too. Yeah.
It was, and I did say to you, don't look at me like that, because I don't want it. I don't want you to feel sorry for me in this moment. I just want to talk this out with you. And you held that space beautifully. Yeah. And
a lot of pain there, you can't not feel your friends.
And I think when I really sat with it, what was it telling me? It was darkness. Darkness wasn't anything I could see or what I was doing. It was actually a feeling, and the feeling of darkness was that sadness, or under the layers of anger and rage, it was sadness and it was grief. But we unpacked it, and when we unpacked it, there was some funny stuff that came up, didn't it? Well, I wouldn't say funny. Yeah. It was interesting. Yeah. Do you recall?
Yeah,
Actually, I've got it on here.
Well, I think it's interesting because I think when you share with some people, we did a parts integration, and I think, like you said, it is so nice to have friends that can hold space rather than trying to bypass and go to think positive, your life's great, why are you feeling, that's just the natural default mode people go to because they want to fix your problems, right? Especially partners and that, because they're like, it's almost too much for people to handle, isn't it? Like just the thought of someone being at a place where they're thinking in dark ways. But I think the work we've done, it was like, no, you don't need to, exactly like I said, you never act on that.
Yeah.
You investigate it.
Yeah.
And I was sort of saying, I think like as a friend on the outside, I could see there were two parts of you in a lot of conflict. Like there's the you that just wants to think positive, be high vibe sock, like happy, go getting. Yeah. And then there's this part of you that's still carrying a lot of pain. And like, you know, darkness can almost be like in a void, escapism. I just want to, and maybe that's where like the word like wanting to end your life can be associated to wanting to just be in a void, just wanting to be break free from all, like it's all too much. I want to go into this. I just want to stop it all. Yeah. And I could see that. Yeah. And I could see that like a part of you when you were sharing it, you were kind of like, oh, don't like look at me different. Like, you know, like I know it's not an easy thing to share. Yeah. But I was like, you don't need to reject that part of you. It's nothing bad about you, because I think there can be that association. What's wrong with me? Why is my mind doing this? Like,
and shame came up too.
Yeah, because then it was like there's the pain and the darkness, and then there's the shame, and then why are you there? You know, and then there's like all these layers on top, and it's like then this becomes this big mountain of like heaviness, right? Yeah. Versus going to, you know, we did parts integration, which we love because it's all about integrating all the parts of ourselves. And we talked to the darkness and we talked to Sokka, the light, and we got to the core of what is this darkness, like how is it trying to help you? How is, you know, it's only got good intentions. Everything wants to alleviate your suffering in some way. Everything wants to bring you back to love, or, you know, it's just kind of can express in not the perceived healthiest way.
Peace.
And
freedom.
What did that darkness truly want for you?
There was divine peace. Peace came up quite a fair few times.
Yes.
Freedom. Yeah. Connection. Alignment. But I felt more congruent and more aligned with freedom.
Yeah. And then we talked to the light, and it's like Sokka wanting to be that version was, again, it was the same things. And then we brought the two parts of you together. Like the parts talk to each other. It's like darkness, what can you share with the light? Like what advice or, you know, what strengths and qualities can you share? And then the light talk to the dark, and it's like they can just work as a team. No part of you is bad. It's just bringing it into harmony and acknowledging all these things exist in us and they only want the best for us. And it was emotional, but it was so beautiful because it was, rather than rejecting that part of you or trying to bypass and go straight to overlayer it with more positive thinking and like future distractions, it was like, let's just sit with it and just see it for, it's just something that just wants to be seen and heard and loved and wants its freedom and wants connection. So I just think like it was so nice to go through that with you.
Thank you.
That's all right. It's just beautiful to share,
And that's my, see how I laugh?
Yeah.
That's my coping mechanism. I laugh at things, but I also work out that's how I cope.
Yeah, totally. And it's got its place, hey? Yeah. We need to bring more joy. Silliness, playfulness, childlikeness, so healing.
But I feel definitely lighter from that, and I certainly encourage anybody that's going through something heavy like that or feeling the feelings of, you know, this dreaded darkness inside of them, that you're not alone and it's okay to feel those feelings. It's just getting the help and be open to help, because sometimes it's not what you think it is. Yeah. It's actually a lot more magical, and there is light there. And it's literally a metaphor when people say there's light at the end of the tunnel. It really truly is. Like there's more. Because
your darkness was so beautiful. Once you got rid of the thoughts, the shame thoughts, the resistance thoughts, and you got to like the root of it, it was just love. Like everything is just part of this one whole, like, you know, we just push these parts of us away, and that's actually what causes the emotional discomfort and that resistance and tension and contraction. But like, we don't know joy unless we know some sadness. Like, we don't know, love, unless we know some grief. Like, it all has to coexist to feel all the spectrum of emotions.
Yeah.
Like, we just need to honor all of those things and this beautiful humanness that chose to come here, I believe. Yeah.
There are many services out there, and you can always just even speak to a friend. But a professional is always good. There's a lot of light workers out there.
We need to come
counsellors
together. We heal each other. Like, us having the conversations we do, it mirrors parts of my own self as well. Like, so these are really beautiful to come together. And I think loneliness and isolation is just going to put you in a really deep hole. So there's a time and place for self-reflection and having some alone time. But just be careful not to go too deep, because you just get stuck in the mind and you go deeper and deeper into the depression. And it's not healthy.
Look, it's most times, in most cases, people might say, I'm going to kill myself. I'm going to be, this. It really isn't that. It's just that, when you actually confront them and talk to, so you really want to kill yourself? Oh, no, it's not exactly what I mean. It's more this. So like sometimes I don't want to
be alive. Like, that's a common one. And I can't do this.
And it's just sometimes it's more the feeling that they're feeling. And in this particular part of me was that darkness, and I was trying to associate it with something, but it wasn't actually that kind of darkness. It was actually much, much more beautiful than I actually thought it was. And you'd be surprised at what you actually find in the darkness. Some gold nuggets there. So yes, look at it in a positive way, and not isn't always what you think it is.
I think there's so much fear around going to the depths of ourselves, so we avoid it. And that I think when we face it, like when you see it truly for what it is, there's nothing to be scared of anymore. So all parts of us need love.
So that one just needed to be said out loud. I think that topic was could certainly help somebody out there. Sometimes that death of you is the shedding of an old you, and this new person will come through. And like I said, each week is a new week for me, and I'm a new person each time I look at myself in the mirror. So
it is a death and rebirth, isn't it?
And I've loved every version of myself up until now as well. Up until now, and beyond.
Yes. We need to go through the hardship, I think, to grow and become this version of us. And I think we attract those struggles because they're things that we need to work on in ourselves. I think the things that show up for us are needed on our journey. So rather than fighting it, resisting it, it's so important to just go through it, get the support you need, the tools, the knowledge to help navigate these really dark times. But I think it's so beautiful you sharing that with people, because it's what people go through silently and never voice out and carry. And I think people think they're alone, and how they feel nobody understands, and they're the only ones suffering to that level. But you're not alone. There are other people that go into those dark places who understand, who've come through it, and it's become their greatest blessing in disguise, versus just trying to take the easy way out, I guess.
There's a beautiful saying, I wasn't sure if I've mentioned this, was that if you knock at the door as a child, you knock at your parents' door. And when you knock at the door and you keep knocking, they don't open the door, and they like tell you to shut up and go away. You keep knocking that door until you knock it and kick that door down, because the house is on fire.
Wow.
So
that's our emotions.
It's knocking. It's telling you to really see what's going on. Your body is telling you. Feel into those feelings, because
they're messengers.
They are. And your body might be struggling with something. We don't know. Some of these things can cause diseases and things like that in your body. You just don't know what's going on in there until you open it up and see it for what it is. Go get yourself checked out. Go see somebody.
Yeah, look after your body mentally, emotionally, physically. You know, we need to look after ourselves for sure.
Because that body is going to keep you going for the next, you know, decade or two or more, longer.
Yeah, we need to look after it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's my message.
Wow.
Intense.
Aren't you so brave for sharing? And thank you for you guys for being with us and holding that space, and hopefully this is helping others. That's our only intention, really.
Yeah. So keep going on your self-healing journey, and a reminder, we on the 24th
of November
we have another healing circle, so get on it.
Yes, so we'll have a link at the bottom of the bio of the YouTube, as well as if you can follow our pages if you like, Self-Healing Circle. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Have a beautiful day.
See you. Bye.